What's up, YouTube? So, as promised, I'm here with the Nina Simone movie review. The first take, I was interrupted, so we're gonna try this again. So, I am a fan of Nina Simone's art as well as my family. So, I was very intrigued when um, I saw all the buzz and controversy about the movie. Of course, everyone knows that Zoe Saldana plays Nina Simone, uh, and his his name is let me check it. David Oyelowo. David Oyelowo. He plays. He's actually one of the producers of the movie, and he also is her supporting cast member. He's actually the nurse that becomes her assistant, that becomes her manager. So, excuse me. I found it it's so crazy because Nina Simone was born February 21st, 1933, makes her a Pisces. As I go on this review, you will understand why I had to make that known. She's a Pisces, for real. So, the interesting part about her is she was actually born in Tryon, North Carolina, and she started to learn to play the piano by ear by the age of 3. So that helps. And her dad was a Methodist minister, so she was always played in the choir, always sung in the choir. But her main thing was playing the piano. That was her main passion. And her family supported her. So she wanted to go to Juilliard in New York. She wanted to go to the best school. And she did. But once she could not afford to continue to go to the school, she had to drop out. And she still, her family, they relocated to support her. So rightfully so, she played the piano and sung to support her family. I can tell. Now, this is the thing. Some of this information that I'm giving you is from the movie. Some of it's not. That's one hang up I have about the movie. There was a lot of loopholes that could have easily been filled, but they weren't. So, but I'm here. I'm here to fill you in fully. So, with that being said, she was always a very courageous, brave person. Let me say that about her. She always demanded respect, and it's because she always did what she did with a sense of purpose. Always, from a child to an adult, when it came down to her art, it was done with purpose. So I greatly respect that about her. Now, this is my thing. A lot of controversy was stirred up about the complexion of Zoe Saldana, who is playing her in the movie, because, for one, you know, everyone felt like you're not. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You're not a fully African American woman, so you shouldn't be playing her. Now, here's my thing. I feel like, acting wise, she earned the part. She really did. She earned the part. She did really good. Um, what I did not like was, for one, everybody talking about like, how I stumbled onto the movie was people was actually saying that it kind of looked like she was doing blackface. When you look at the movie, they could have made her. They needed to make her shades and shades of shades darker. They did not. I mean, I don't even understand what the makeup was for. Now, I did appreciate the dentures to make her overbite appear like Nina Simone's. I did appreciate the wigs. I appreciated the outfits. I appreciated that. But I did not appreciate the complexion could have been darker. And also, what I did not appreciate was the fact that Zoe Saldana sung the songs. And I'm going to tell you why. In African Americans' culture, black culture, period, Nina Simone's music is classical to us. That is classic music. So we want the the art to stay the same. We appreciate it. So, and okay, let me say this. I actually don't think she sounded so bad. She actually sounded good. It's just that I feel like, to me, it's kind of like she was trying to introduce us to her crossing over to music. That's the only motive I can see of why lip syncing wouldn't have been an option. I mean, it's like we're not expecting you to sound like Nina Simone. We're not. So you lip syncing, it would have, like, we'd appreciate it. I mean, to my opinion, we'd have appreciated it. So I didn't like that, but she does have a nice. But it's not like, you don't want to listen to it. It was impressive. I just feel like it was excessive. um, Now, in the movie, they don't show you how she's actually that she drops out Juilliard. Now, what they do is they do definitely show you her in an interview. Excuse me, explaining how she applied for a scholarship to go to. Let me make sure I say it right. Wait a minute. She wanted to go to the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia, and she was denied. And it took her 6 months to realize that it was because she was black. And that racism and that rejection stuck with her. Now, thankfully, she did get her just due as being inducted into the Hall of Fame, actually having a program at that school in honor of her name, which is amazing, but it was long overdue, seriously long overdue. A lot of her just due was long overdue, and I'll get to that. Now, here's some things that I feel like should have been in the movie, but it wasn't. For instance, talked about her parents. I feel like they should have shown her actually being from North Carolina and shown the fact that her dad was a minister and she was actively in the church. I feel like that would have been very good. That would have been a very good part in the movie. That would have been important. I also feel that her relationship with her, and this is also conflicting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so technically, she had 3 husbands. She only has 1 child. Technically, she had 3 husbands. First husband, doing research, I did not get a name for him, but it was a white man, and the marriage was brief. Her second husband, which is Andrew Stroud, which is the father of her daughter, Lisa Kelly, was a detective, and I feel like they should have touched on this too, because honestly, in the movie, seriously, I'm so glad I did extra research, because if I would have just went off of the movie, honestly, she just looked like a deadbeat mama. And although she had some issues, she was not the most sweetest, Susie Bake Oven mama. It wasn't like that. It actually was the other way around. It actually was, they were in a very toxic, abusive relationship. And um, after Lisa was born, he ghosted them. So I bring that up to say, because, for one, like I said, he was a detective, a light skinned man, had a well put together body, and he was abusive. He even admitted to, in a documentary our daughter actually directed, he admitted to slapping her, and cutting an inch of a cut of her face open with by slapping her with force, having a ring on his hand. Um, so, for one, the movie makes it seem like she just left her daughter. That's And it's crazy because even her daughter is like, well put together, but the movie contradicts even what she says. If your mother wasn't there, how did you get all these harsh whoopings? She had to be there, you know? Like, even if emotionally she was not present in the best way, she had to be there. She didn't just pick up and leave you, so it's very, the movie kind of contradicts the facts, which I don't like personally, because the movie is good, and it just would have been just so much better with the factual details that was needed to be added. So that was something I was like, okay. But I brought her father up to say, after that, her second, the third husband is Don Ross. Don Ross was a beatnik at work, and he worked at the fairgrounds. And I found that interesting because in the movie, it starts off with her being committed to like a psych ward almost. Not. Let me not say that. Not necessarily a psych ward. Like a hospital rehab, something like that. Um, and there are a lot of white nurses and doctors, and they're talking about her, as if she's just another patient. Now, there's very few in the room, one of them in particular, Clifton Henderson, that knows that she's black royalty. Like, this is Nina Simone. And they're like, yeah, whatever, never heard of her. So what I noticed about her interaction with men after Andrew is that I feel like the toxicness made her think that it would be more empowering if she dated men that made less money than her, and that let her be an alpha woman. Um, and I think that her relationship with Andrew gave her a bad perception of how to treat people that love you, and that you so say love back. It's crazy because, like I said, if I wouldn't have done my research, I would have thought that, and well, no, I was actually right. That's what led me to do the research because in the movie, she meets him. She meets Clifton. When she meets Clifton Henderson, he's her nurse. He's younger than her. She tries to shoot her shot. She's real flirtatious, and he just kind of curves her like, with in so many words, "Bitch, you too old to be flirting me." And so that seems like a challenge for her, and so she starts to chase him in a way. Like, I can give you money, you can work for me, I can show you things you've never seen before, take you places you've never seen before. And she's like, it's better than this. It's better than what you're used to. To come to France with me. And so he does. He takes a leap of faith. He because he's young and he's just like, okay, I I think it was like a hidden kind of, I want the underdog to win because I see her potential, understanding that he didn't express until later. Um, Another thing I didn't like, the misconstruction of them. When you see the dynamic between those two, it gives you a vibe of, I like that, I love that, I want to touch that, but I can't touch that. And it's like, from his pureness, it seems like I can't touch that because it's broken and I need to heal it first. But they never actually, they they just never, they don't, you know ever, ever, even in the paragraphs, never. So in doing research, it was like, well, it was quoted that it was well known that he was gay. And it's like, well, why? The crazy part about it is, in the movie, it's like they want us to believe that there was something there, an unspoken romance. And it's just like, okay, well, if he was gay, why was there an unspoken romance? Like, it's so much contradictions in the movie that just, it's just like, well, why? Um, and by the way, David Oyelowo, I think I said that, plays Clifton Henderson. And the part that will make you feel like, yeah, this is a contradiction, is because his mother, who is played by Ella Joyce, there's a part in the movie where she tries to come on to him again. She's drunk. And it kind of gives you the feeling of, when he rejects her, it gives you the feeling of that he simply rejected her because of the way she interacted with him around other people, and not liking her in a drunk state of mind, not wanting to lay with someone drunk. So, and then out the next day, it's like she's like so bruised from being rejected. She asks him to go with her to fetch a guy so that she can, cleanse his throat, and he cleans her throat, and Clifton's right there. And so Clifton is offended because he quotes her, he's like, I'm not your pimp. and he leaves. And so when he leaves and goes home, and she begs him to stay, when he leaves and goes home, his mama is like, well, she comes down to come after him after speaking to Richard Pryor, who was played by Mike Epps. And I have to say, kudos to Mike Epps. Mike Epps did a wonderful job. I think he took it very seriously to embody Richard Pryor. I appreciated that, and I also appreciated knowing that Richard Pryor and Nina Simone had a true, pure platonic friendship. And I want to say that about the movie. I appreciate them putting a close look at how valuable, as a black woman, how valuable it is to have black male friends that are platonic, that do not have any sexual desires for us, that are just simply there to be our friends. That is something that is so valued more than a man could actually fathom, I believe. And so I appreciated that. But in that conversation, it kind of awakes her that, that it's valuable to have someone that loves you like that and cares about you like that. And so she goes to Chicago and she treats his family and she sees him and all that stuff. And so then the mom was like, it got to be something else. She came down here for you. So to put that out there and then not clarify whether he's into her or does he just love her? Is he heterosexual? Is he homosexual? Based off y'all saying this behind the scenes, it's just like, come on now, like, make it clear so that we can enjoy the movie how we're supposed to enjoy the movie, So I kind of just like, I ain't too feeling that. Now, like I said, he starts off. She was very codependent, and she was the epitome of hurt people. She was very nasty to people that worked for her, and in return, up until Clifton came into her life, people matched her energy within her business and finances. She could have gotten the fruits of her labor to the full extent way early on in her career had she had a good, healthy team. But it's hard to have a good, healthy team if you're treating people like crap. Literally, her demeanor was, you work for me, I own you. You work for me, I pay you, so I own you. And that's how she treated people. And I think that's what did it, and people just looked at her like she's a drunk, she's a drug head that make me a lot of money. When she's not being a bitch. When she's not, demanding her respect. Now, this is the thing. I saw both sides. There's an incident in the movie where she is playing the piano, and then there's a white man, and he's, and to be honest, as I'm explaining, I don't think it mattered about color, but I definitely do think it mattered about color. There's a white man, and he's talking in the crowd as she's playing, and she gets up, takes the knife that's on the table next to him, and slices his ass. And that's because she wanted her respect. When she, like I said, she learned playing the piano by the age of 3 by ear. Okay? She never really wanted to sing anyways. She wanted to be considered a pianist that was taken seriously. And so growing up at the time she did, it's like, okay, y'all will literally go to an opera show and sit through it, be quiet, and enjoy the piece of art that you are experiencing. I want that same respect, because when I come and I sit down and I play on the piano and I sing, I give you my all. I give you a work of art, so I want that respect. And as a black woman, period, as a woman, period, let me say, especially when it comes to business and boundaries, we don't get taken seriously. Sometimes we have to cut you, not not. Sometimes we might have to cut you to get you to stop playing. Stop playing with me. Stop playing on my top. Just take me serious, damn it. Like, and so I definitely can relate. Like sometimes we have to get to that point, because it would be to a point where people would patronize her. She'll be talking, I want my money, and it's like, oh, okay, so I'm hooked up. No. If I say I want my money, what make you think I'm gonna walk about this room before we get down to the nitty gritty and we finna get this money? Like sometimes she would be so messed up, she'd be, that money, hey, rightfully so. You asked that, but it's just the fact I understood. Like that's where that whole attitude came from, not being taken serious, and it's because from how she was raised, being around white children, being black, seeing how white people got respected. Like for example, I'm pretty sure she probably said something like this to herself. They don't have to repeat themselves when they demand something or request for something. Why should I? If I'm giving 110% of my art and what I do, if I'm doing my part, why do I have to cuss you out, yell at you, and cut you, and fight you to get my respect? So I definitely, even though it was a toxic trait, I definitely understand that. What I did not like and understand was the whole, you know, hurting people that actually came along and tried to help her. Because, like I said, Clifton, he came in actually as her assistant slash nurse. So there was times where, he just took crap. Gotta try to make her take her medication. Gotta try to make her eat. Make sure she doesn't drink. Then I gotta deal with your snake ass manager. He doesn't care. I'm telling him you need Tylenol. He's saying no, forget that. Drug her up, drink, let her get something to drink. Let's make this money. No, it put him in a place of, this is disgusting to see all these people that don't love her, but I still have to love myself and not allow somebody to treat me like she's treating me. What do I do? Because I'm not saying it, but I believe in her. Like I'm not saying it, but I have no problem with saying and feeling that I believe in her. And he does gradually actually says it, like, I believe in her and I want people to see her like I see her. And so she eventually is able to acknowledge it and appreciate it, but she had been so scarred in life that it was not easy for her to admit where she was wrong and to be able to like apologize. And like I said, I think her relationship with Andrew Stroud really messed her up in regards to, how do you express love? How do you express compassion? How do you accept love? When is it okay to accept love? How do I properly judge people's intentions? And how do I make sure that my intentions are good? Because I'm swaying with the wind just like everybody else that's hurting me, that's swaying with the wind with their emotions and their intentions. And now here comes this pure young soul that just simply sees me as beauty and royalty, and he wants me to see myself the same. He wants me to carry myself the same. But he don't. But most guys that do that, they'll lay with me. So I'm, what I'm saying? That's the whole the dynamic between them and what she's dealing with within herself and with other people. So yes, she was toxic, but it was definitely justified by things she went through. Now, like I said, once again, that movie, the information in that movie alone is conflicted. It, for one, it make her look like a deadbeat ass mama, and like I said, come to find out, you know, he was abused and he left. So, but my thing is, they should have shown so much more. Now I did like the fact that they showed how impactful her music was to the movement of change of racism, how inferior she would be through her music once things happen, like the burning of the little girls in the Mississippi church. Her daughter, Lisa Kelly, says that actually was, her mother told her, that is what made her snap and what brought that split personality in the music. You know, you have your music that was about her love life, calm, cool, relaxed, sometimes sad, depending, on the song, and then you have the political standpoint of her music, the 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 artwork that she had to express her anger and her pain and her resentment towards racism. I did like that. I loved the fact that they put how her true fans reacted to her music, how much it meant to her fans. Ooh, how much it meant to her fans to know that she was singing for us, singing for our pain, singing for our justice, singing for our freedom, singing for our equality, and doing it fearlessly. Like, she was cutthroat fearless. I will give her that. I think the only thing that, I think that she kind of did fear herself sometimes, which is, explains the not wanting too much light in the room, not really liking having rules. As an adult, she looking at it like, all this stuff I didn't been through, all this hard work I didn't put in, I shouldn't have no rules, but it's like, no, but she would give them. She didn't respect boundaries, but she would totally give them. Even as far as to, there were many incidents where she would be performing and she wanted her crowd to be a certain way. She didn't like people getting up and walking in the middle of her performances, things like that. She just really, really, really was serious about being taken serious. And she just totally needed to give herself the full self-love that she deserved so that she could receive real love and be able to discern when love wasn't real. They also touched on her having cancer and not saying anything to Cliff at first. And she wasn't saying anything, and she also wasn't really doing much anything about it, as opposed to, going to the doctor like she should have. And her thoughts on it was, what is it going to change? Is it even going to be effective? You know, to me, what I took from it was, like I said, her 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 perception of power was, I can set boundaries, but I don't have to follow any, and I don't have to respect. I don't have to follow any rules. I don't have to respect anyone's boundaries on my own. And I don't. I can do what I want because I've earned it, because I've been through so much as a black woman, as a dark skinned black woman, and it was just too much codependency in her life, too much toxic traits, too many toxic traits that were okay because she was such a moneymaker. Um, it's a sad truth about being a money magnet. When you're a money magnet and you don't fully love yourself, you get taken advantage of, and it causes you to take advantage of yourself. If that makes any sense to y'all, you don't see, and I think it's important for people to watch the movie because throughout the whole movie, she gives you a sense of she loves herself, she's aware of her power, she's aware of who she is, but honestly, she doesn't. Honestly, she doesn't. Um, and Clifton actually is, I don't know why, I, that's for another channel, but I'm feeling something. But he comes in to try to help her understand how important self love is and how she needed that to get to the next level, to make what was wrong right in business so that she can really truly reap the real fruits of her labor. And she resists it because she doesn't love herself. But once she actually starts to be like, okay, this is not to offend me, this is not to harm me, but this is to help me to be able to let the other side of me come out. Um, it's crazy. I wanted to say the other side of Nina come out. That is actually a name that she created for herself. Her real name is Eunice Eunice Kathleen Whalen. So yeah, to put it that way, yeah, like I need to love Eunice, and I need to be okay with loving Eunice. I don't need a sexual encounter with a man to help me love Eunice, to make Eunice feel empowered. I don't need alcohol. I don't need any kind of drug to make me feel validated and feel beautiful and loved and valued. I just need to fully give and receive love to myself, and then give it to the people that gave it to me, because I have to say, I Clifton did a lot and took a lot of shit. Like, most people would have walked away. Honestly, I think that people walked away from her a lot, but I think that he was the first person to walk away due to loving himself, and I think that's what it taught her. Like, yes, he loves me. Yes, he sees my potential. He wants others to see my potential, but he's not about to sit here and keep being a doorman. I have shown him things he's never seen before. I have given him money I know good and well ain't nobody gave him as much money as I've given him. But he still will go back home to his mom and his daddy if I keep treating him like a doorman. That's exactly what he did. And it made her be like, okay, I'm pushing. She literally was able to come to her sisters and say, I'm pushing somebody away that's good for me. So maybe I need to go and make things right with this person because I ain't know nothing around me but snakes. This is something refreshing that's worth getting my shit together and keeping. So I think that was very great. Now, what what had me just kind of like okay is that her daughter gives the credit to her getting to Carnegie Hall to her father based off of, and I guess in a sense she is right. You know, Nina Simone created beautiful art from that pain, but I don't hear her say Clifton was this impactful, influential, positive force in my mom's life. After that, actually, yeah, the movie depicts that Clifton was responsible for that, and not solely responsible because he had to go to her first manager, was just a total snake. That was more seasoned as a manager, of course, but he had lost the care to work with Nina after the whole incident where the white man is talking while she's playing and she gets up and cuts him because she began to have a bad rep about that. Everybody was like, yeah, she's, a beautiful artist, but is she gonna cut me? Is she going to straighten up to where she can be able to perform like she needs to? So I don't know. I just feel like it's like either, the movie is giving off this romantic lie about them, or, it's not. And maybe I, 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 I wish they would have clarified that because that would have helped in regards to the dynamic between those two. Like, there had to be a conversation where it's just like, look, I be there in there swinging my legs open. Why? What's up? You don't want me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, because it does get to that point in the movie where it's just like she just like, oh, it's so refreshing to just have this gentleman around me and all of that, and he just like, yeah, he was kind of antisocial. He didn't really like being around her crowd of people. Um, to me, he just felt like the energy wasn't genuine because they didn't know him, and he kind of felt like he was somewhat of a prop, to an extent. So I wanted them to kind of, go a little deeper in that, especially in the sense that they kind of just made that the base of the movie. Like the core of the movie was them two. So it's just like, yeah, I need you to clarify what was up between them two. Um, Other than that, I appreciate the information that they put at the end. I um I appreciated the outfits. I don't know if I said that before. The costumes of the outfits was bad because they were exact. So I did appreciate that. Um, and I appreciated them showing like the type of lifestyle that she lived in regards to money and the kind of home she had. And they did show. her drinking habits and etc. But I just felt like there was so much more. Like, for instance, her having such a good friendship with Richard Pryor. It's like, okay, I wanted to know who else did she have an impactful friendship with. You know, who else had the the opportunity to experience and admire the type of love she was able to give when she identified similar fears. It's so crazy, and maybe it's crazy that, and I guess that's why I don't like the fact that the movie kind of makes her out to be a deadbeat mom, because clearly she's a nurturing person. She just had so many toxic traits that she could only nurture so much. If that makes any sense? But you have to be a nurturing person to be able to identify, understand, and solve a, a problem in a person without either one of you saying a word. Like, yeah, Richard Pryor said he was a little nervous and he was jittering, but she knew to give him a hug and make him feel like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can get on this stage and kill it. And he did. And so, I mean, you have to have some kind of motherly instinct in you to do that. So, for sure, I just felt like there were way more celebrities that she had friendships with that could say the same things. Like, yeah, she was a firecracker. Yeah, she was something else. But you felt love from her when she came across you. Um, Even when you heard her music, you felt love. You felt real genuine love, real genuine passion. And so, like I said, it's a great movie to see. I think that it definitely can be something to for young women to look at, mothers too, and more so mothers if they would have just zoomed in on her parenting, because Lisa talks about, like I said, talks about that growing up, how she got a lot of beatings, a lot of whoopings, but she grew to understand her mother did love her, and I can I can agree with that. Like, I had some of the experience where, just with that being said, my mom wasn't no damn deadbeat. She was there. You had to be present to be whooping to match. So I feel like if they would have touched in on that and touched in on her marriage with Andrew, and I also wanted them to touch on her relationship with Dawn, because like I said, it just seemed like every man after Andrew wasn't as masculine, and it seems like she felt empowered by the fact that they wasn't as masculine as him. Maybe I think it made her feel more safe that she wouldn't have to go through that. So, um, other than that, I appreciated it. Keith David plays Clifton's dad. Ella Joyce plays Clifton's mom. And these are well-known actors and actress. Ella Joyce, she plays the wife in The Rock. If anybody knows that show, I used to watch the show. It might be a little over some people, but if you see Preacher's Kid with Latoya Luckett, she plays the lady that is goes to church with Latoya Luckett's dad, and brings over the pies and cakes, whatever. Her. And Keith David is the man. He's been played in so many movies, but have you ever seen Barbershop? He was the man that tried to buy the shop in the first one. So and Ronald Gutman plays manager number one. He plays Henry Edwards. like I said, with that relationship, it was that business relationship. It just honestly, like, yeah, he was just like, she hard to deal with, but she made me money. So that's how far my care goes for her. To me, that's just exactly like that was his whole demeanor. Um, with her having breast cancer, I wanted them to show because she died in a home. So I kind of wanted them to show. Because of the fact that it's 2020. A lot of our movies now are very detailed and impactful in a way to teach lessons, to help people. I honestly think that, you know, breast cancer is something that needs to be taken seriously. Um, and so people needed to see the aftermath of putting it off. Um, it could because as women, especially black women, we go through a lot when we go to the doctor. You know, we could be telling me we could shake their shoulders and be like, I know something ain't right, and they gonna laugh and be like, you alright. You alright. Your insurance say you alright. Your insurance say it's a sneeze, bitch. Your money say it's a sneeze, bitch. Like you be like, hold on, no, I don't care what my money say. Like, bruh, fix me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to actually like have a diagnosis and then not take care of it, young women needed to see and be reminded that that's not the way to go. You know, you got to take it serious. So, um, I just wish they would have touched on certain things. You know, touched on certain things that would have helped us understand a lot. Um, I did appreciate them giving insight as to why she left the States and went to France. Her feeling, unappreciated, devalued, and feeling like, racism was just going too far, like her being so upset that, and me personally, I appreciate somebody giving a damn that much to be like, it vexed her that she was pushing for us to be heard and to be taken seriously, and we weren't. So she went to a country that was going to take us serious and accept her for being a leader in our culture, for our freedom and for our rights to be heard and to be respected and to be valued. So that is my take on the Nina Simone movie. Like I said, I watched it on Hulu, so you can definitely, if you have Hulu, you can definitely watch it there. She was born, like I said, February 21st, 1933, died April 21st, 2003 at 70 years old due to breast cancer. Rest in peace. Um, the High Priestess of Soul, as they call her. It's kind of crazy, High Priestess. Cool. Ugh. But y'all go watch it. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm tired of shit. Bye.